Hi, today I'm going to show you how to make our Bermuda Nights Bracelet. This fun bracelet can dress up jeans and a t-shirt or be worn on your next night out. So let's take a look at the products and tools we'll need to construct it. For this project, I will be using the 5mm silver disc Heishi spacer beads, the 6mm graphite Swarovski crystal round beads, the 6mm crystal silver night Swarovski crystal Rondelle beads, a 30mm Bermuda blue Swarovski crystal fine rocks tube bead, a 16mm silver toggle clasp, 2x2 sterling silver crimp beads, 3x5 sterling silver crimp bead covers, and for my beading wire, I'm using the fine soft flex beading wire. For my tools, I'll be using wire cutters, crimping pliers, and I have a tape measure. So let's get started. Okay, so to begin, I went ahead and I cut about 10 inches of the soft flex beading wire. So I'm going to take my beading wire, I'm going to pick up one crimp tube bead, and then I'm going to go through the loop on my toggle clasp. Then I'm going to take the beading wire and go back through the crimp bead. And taking your crimping pliers and using the back notch first, I'm going to crimp one time. I'm going to turn it and flip it and move it to the front of the crimping pliers and do one more. And then I do a third one just for good measure to make sure it's a nice cylinder shape. Then you'll take your wire cutters and you'll cut off your tail. Set up your tail aside, and then I begin my pattern. So my pattern is one rondelle, one spacer bead, and then one graphite round. And I repeat this pattern 5 times, and then I end with one rondelle, and then we go ahead and we add the tube bead. Just keep stringing it in this fashion. So I'm just going to continue this pattern 5 more times, then I'm going to add one rondelle, and then we'll add the tube bead and finish the other side. So we'll be right back. Okay, as you can see, I've strung the first part of my bracelet here. So I have 5 sets of the rondelle in the round, and then I just ended with the rondelle. So I go ahead and I grab my tube bead, and I go ahead and string that on there, right next to my rondelle, and then I just reverse this pattern on the other side here. So I start with a rondelle, a Heishi spacer, around another Heishi spacer, and then another rondelle. So I'll just continue this pattern until I get to the end, and then we'll attach the clasp. I'll be right back. Okay, as you can see, I went ahead and I continued stringing the other half of my bracelet. So at this point, I just want to measure it, make sure that it's not too long or too short. So right now with the toggle, we're looking, it's probably once I add the toggle bar, we're going to be about 7.5 inches. So that is a perfect length for a bracelet. So same fashion of how we attach the toggle ring, we'll do the toggle bar. So I'm going to pick up my bracelet, I'm going to pick up a crimp bead and then the tube bar. I'm going to go through the loop there and come back, through my crimp bead. And I always like to just bend my bracelet a little bit just to make sure there's some movement. It's not too tight, because that can cause a little bit of stress on your beading wire if it's strung too tight. So you just want to have a little bit of breathing room, but not a lot. So again, in the same fashion, I'm going to crimp with the back part of the pliers first, one time on the crimp bead. Then I'm going to turn and flip and do the front part one time, and then I always like to do it a third time. Make sure it gets a nice shape in there. All right, I think it needs one more time. It's still a little wonky. There we go. Let's test it, make sure it's tight there, so it won't fall off. So I go ahead and I trim my tail. And then I can add my crimp bead covers. So I always just scent them in my pliers very gently. Try not to smash it closed before you get it on the crimp bead. Slide it over your crimp bead and then gently close it. And it doesn't take a lot of pressure to close the crimp bead covers because they're pretty soft metal. Then it makes a nice little cylinder bead look there at the end, and it makes a really nice finished look for your bracelet. If you're having a hard time getting your crimp bead cover on your crimp bead, you can always open it up a little bit if need be, because sometimes they do get a little closed, smashed, you know, as they're like sitting in packaging or anything. So there, now I've got my Bermuda Nights bracelet. It's all done and ready to go. You can find all the products and tools for this inspiration design at fusionbeads.com.